if Bitcoin does shoot up to 1 million, that's probably max pain for the largest number of people. Instead of being able to make a material difference in your financial economic situation by acquiring a lot of Bitcoin, quintillionaires are going to buy up all the Bitcoin, drive the price up, and you'll still have this divide between the rich and the poor instead of that being equalized. So basically, 8 billion people are not going to be able to get in early. You're not going to get Bitcoin at sub 1 million anymore. You'll be getting it at a million or more. So
Samson, you're making me incredibly bullish right now.
We have just 11 days until the Bitcoin halving. The mother of all supply shocks is upon us, and demand for Bitcoin is skyrocketing. We've got some huge Bitcoin news out of China. Yes, China.
China.
Are they about to make a major power play? Also, rumors a company out of Japan has adopted the Michael Saylor strategy. Is Metaplanet the next MicroStrategy? And speaking of supply shock, we got new records being set by the Bitcoin ETFs. And while many thought Samson Mao was crazy, well, all the great ones are a little unhinged. Well, we're going to break down why 100K isn't far away. And $1 million Bitcoin could be here by the end of the year?
Party, that party. Come and have a good time with G.O.D.
All right, here we go. We're diving into the Dragon's Den with some juicy intel that's going to make your brain do some backflips. As China, the land of the Great Wall, and the not-so-great censorship-grade firewall are making moves in the world of Bitcoin. We're talking major Chinese asset managers like Harvest Fund and Southern Fund sneaking through the back door of the Bitcoin party by leveraging their Hong Kong subsidiaries to apply for Bitcoin ETFs. Yes, you heard that right. And here's the kicker. While mainland China has been giving Bitcoin the old stink eye, while Hong Kong's out here rolling out the red carpet, it's like they're saying, hey, come on in. We got Bitcoin ETFs and a little bit of freedom on tap. You know, with all this stuff, China, BRICS, it's got to make you think, what really are they playing at? What are they up to?
Перемены, которые не было в течение 100 лет. Там, где вместе двигаем эти перемены. Перекиньте, пожалуйста, дорогой друг.
Now that clip goes back to the wake-up call. For those of you that know about the wake-up call, shout-outs to you. You've been here from day one. But in looking at that, what China is doing, other nations, especially Russia and BRICS, but this is where we are in the movie. We are living through the currency wars, and the hardest, soundest money will rule the day.
It's important to frame the war as the conflict between currencies and the conflict between assets. And ultimately, the struggle is the dollar versus the peso and the lira. And that's nation states jockeying with each other. And ultimately, there's going to be a call to the State Department by the president of a country saying, we don't like the digital dollar circulating around here. Stop it. And that's going to become a geopolitical thing, right? And then the other war, the struggle is going to be Bitcoin versus, stocks and equities versus real estate, REITs versus gold versus commodities. There's $100 trillion at stake in both of those struggles for the next decade.
Now, if that doesn't get your spidey senses tingling, hold on to your hats because we're not done yet. Metaplanet, an investment and consulting company listed on the Tokyo Stock Exchange, they just dropped a cool 6.5 million USD to scoop up some Bitcoin for their corporate treasury. From the looks of it, these guys aren't just dipping their toes in. They're doing a cannonball off the high dive. And why? Because maybe they know what's up, folks. Bitcoin isn't just the future, it's the present. It's the gold rush of the digital age. And everyone's scrambling for a piece of the pie. But wait, are these guys really the next MicroStrategy that they're being sold as? Well, upon further investigation, I think we can say without a doubt that they are far from it. Web3. Maybe they'll repent from their shitcoining ways and figure it all out eventually. Hey, we get a lot more bullish news coming your way, but before we get to that, let's take a minute to recognize our sponsors, the Bitcoin Way. Bringing over 25 years of experience in cybersecurity, the Bitcoin Way is your IT team in the Bitcoin world. They'll help take you from that why Bitcoin to the how Bitcoin. From setting up your first wallet node all the way up to inheritance planning, accepting Bitcoin payments for your business. They cover all aspects of Bitcoin security and privacy. They even work with their clients to configure routers, devices, and networks. Also, not to mention UTXO management and coin joining, in short, for everything in Bitcoin sovereignty and privacy related, they are your go-to source. Hey, and if you're looking to get started, you can book a free 30-minute consultation using that link below. Now let's get back to it. Speaking of scrambling, BlackRock and Fidelity are tearing up the rule book with their spot Bitcoin ETFs. These bad boys have been racking up continuous inflows since day one. They are outperforming 99.9% of all ETFs ever launched. Tell them, Giga Chad.
There is no second best.
Nation states want Bitcoin. Game theory is accelerating. The halving is about to hit. We've already hit all-time highs, and based on past performance, history doesn't always repeat. Still, it tends to rhyme. Check this out.
Bitcoin going up 20x is not a difficult thing. It's done it sometimes in the past. There's maybe 1.6 million BTC on exchanges right now. That's not a lot. And at some point, it's going to dry up, especially at the rate at which the ETFs are hoovering up all the coins at the moment.
Now, this prediction, according to TechDev, Bitcoin had just closed 2 consecutive months over the upper Bollinger Band, a scenario that rarely happens. The analyst noted, however, that each time that Bitcoin did this in the past, it followed through with its price doubling over the next 3 months. And that kind of makes one wonder if Bitcoin can hit 100K by July. Is $1 million by the end of 2024 possible, or even that outlandish given some of Bitcoin's history and the current supply-demand dynamics at play?
Because Bitcoin supply is finite and decreasing over time, I think there is a multiplier effect. There's probably $10-20 billion of capital that's going to flood in right away. That's going to go into this small supply of available Bitcoin, maybe 1 to 2 million BTC. That is really what drives that multiplier effect, because it's not that you're going to buy $1 of Bitcoin and the market cap goes up $1. Because of that limited supply and because of that rapid injection of capital, you have a multiplier effect. And that multiplier effect, I've seen numbers thrown out there somewhere between 2 to 3 times, 10, 50, 100. And if you factor in the Bitcoin multiplier, then Bitcoin can jump to $1 million very quickly.
Samson's definitely on board. We're going to get back to Samson dropping truth bombs left and right. He was the first saying we could hit $1 million per Bitcoin by the end of this year. Yeah, that's right, $1 million. With an M, that would be maximum pain, as he talked about. Don't want to be caught with your pants down, and you know what? With each passing day, I believe him.
The best case scenario, I think, is Bitcoin price goes up very gradually towards $1 million over a number of years, and we all have a lot of time to stack sats and build out everything that's needed. And Max Payne theory says, well, you probably won't have that time. It's going to be a mad scramble, and we won't be ready with layer 2s and all the wallets. We won't be ready to onboard all the people, and a lot of clubs out there that have been DCAing are going to get stuck with unspendable UTXOs because fees are now 100,000 sats or something like that. So that's the idea. Like, it's probably going to happen and catch us off guard, and we're all going to be unprepared. That's the basis of Max Payne theory.
Now, think about the news we had prior, and on top of that, these are what Samson is adding to the equation. His 3 main reasons: $4 million Bitcoin inflation. Mao has argued that Bitcoin is a hedge against inflation, which is on the rise all across the world. As the value of currencies are declining across the board, Bitcoin's value is going to increase. And on top of that, the institutional adoption. The fact that Bitcoin shows up on Wall Street and it's the #1 ETF of all time. To some people, this may be surprising. But as more institutional money flows into Bitcoin, the price is going to rise. And the bigger numbers are going to bring bigger numbers, which is why Mao believes that the demand for Bitcoin is going to continue to grow in the coming years as more people learn what Bitcoin is, what its potential is, and they will want to own it, but they will also have to own it.
If you have a strong fiat currency, you're not incentivized to do anything with Bitcoin unless you're able to see past the short term and understand that all fiat currencies will fail eventually. It's just a matter of time. Everything is sort of pegged to the US dollar in some way. So if the US dollar goes, and that's getting more and more likely if you look at debt and the amount that you have to pay to service that debt, they cannot keep paying hundreds of billions of dollars to service this debt that's going to keep ballooning. It's not a really good situation, I think, for the whole fiat system. And if you can see further ahead, a few steps ahead, then you would want to make a Bitcoin strategy and implement some form of Bitcoin holdings, either at the central bank or through mining. And this is what we're advising countries to do, because you can see that you're future-proofing your country against the fiat collapse.
Will Bitcoin hit $1 million by the end of 2024? Let us know what you think below. So what's the bottom line here, my fellow renegades? Well, Bitcoin's not just a currency, it's a revolution. It's the people's money, the people's power. And whether you're in China, Hong Kong, or Timbuktu, It's time to wake up and smell the Satoshis. Maybe you're asking yourself, do you have enough Bitcoin? Well, be sure to check out this video and keep your head in a swivel for more Simply Originals this week. And Simply Bitcoin will be reporting live from BitBlock Boom in Dallas. You don't want to miss that. Hope you guys have an amazing day. Peace.
If you prefer to go down with the ship, fuck you.